This feels illegal to know. A spider, smaller than your fingernail, can perform one of the most insane mating dances on Earth. Not a joke. This tiny creature raises colorful flaps from its body, waves its legs like a living hologram, and dances with perfect rhythm just to avoid getting eaten on the first date. And somehow, almost nobody talks about them. Meet the Peacock Spider, one of the smallest, weirdest, and most misunderstood predators in nature. But here's the part people don't realize. Their entire survival depends on color, vibration, timing, and an environment that humans are quietly destroying. And once you understand how their life cycle actually works, you'll never look at spiders the same way again. The story begins in the dry grasslands and forests of Australia. Not in giant webs, not in dark caves, but on leaves, bark, flowers, and tiny patches of sunlight. A female peacock spider lays her eggs inside a silk shelter hidden under leaves or debris. She protects them constantly, guarding the eggs from predators, parasites, rain, and temperature changes. Inside those eggs are dozens of spiderlings, tiny versions of the adults waiting to emerge. And when they hatch, they don't get parents, they don't get protection. They're immediately on their own in a world where almost everything wants to eat them. Ants, wasps, lizards, birds, even other spiders. Most of them won't survive, but the few that do begin an incredible transformation. As they grow, they molt multiple times, shedding their exoskeleton like living armor upgrades. Each molt changes their body slightly. The females stay more camouflaged, brown, earthy, hidden. But the males become something completely different. Bright electric blues, neon reds, iridescent patterns that almost look digitally animated. Scientists still study how their microscopic scales create these colors because they reflect light in ways that seem almost unreal. And here's the crazy part. Those colors are dangerous because every predator can see them too. So why evolve something so visible? Because for peacock spiders, reproduction is everything. The male only gets one real chance to pass on his genes. And if he fails, that's it. His entire existence ends there. Now this is where the story gets wild. When a male peacock spider finds a female, he doesn't attack. He performs. First, he lifts one pair of legs into the air like signal flags. Then he unfolds colorful abdominal flaps like wings. Then he starts vibrating, not randomly, precisely. Tiny seismic vibrations travel through the ground directly to the female. It's basically a microscopic concert happening beneath your feet. Every movement matters, every rhythm matters, because the female is judging everything: his health, his strength, his timing, his genetics. And if she's not impressed, she may kill him instantly. No exaggeration. Female peacock spiders are larger and far more powerful. A bad dance can literally become a death sentence, so the male keeps dancing closer and closer, trying to convince her he's worth keeping alive. And somehow, evolution turned this terrifying survival test into one of the most beautiful courtship displays in the animal kingdom. Researchers believe these dances evolved over millions of years through sexual selection, where females repeatedly chose the most impressive males. The result? Tiny spiders performing choreography more complex than some birds. But peacock spiders are more than dancers. They're hunters too. Unlike web-building spiders, they actively stalk prey using incredible vision. Their large, forward-facing eyes give them sharp depth perception, almost like miniature cats. They can calculate distance before jumping, and their jumps are absurd. Using hydraulic pressure inside their bodies, they launch themselves several times their own body length with extreme precision. Flies, tiny insects, even prey larger than themselves. Nothing is safe if the spider can get close enough. And this makes them important for the ecosystem because peacock spiders help control insect populations naturally. They're part of a delicate food web that keeps ecosystems balanced. But most people kill them instantly because they hear the word spider. Even though peacock spiders are harmless to humans, no aggressive behavior, no dangerous venom. In fact, they'd rather run away than bite anything large. And yet humans may still become their biggest threat. Most people miss this part completely. Peacock spiders survive through extremely specific environmental conditions. Tiny temperature changes affect their activity. Humidity affects their molting process. Plant diversity affects where they hide, hunt, and reproduce. Now imagine what happens when pollution enters that system. Pesticides don't just kill pests. They wipe out insect populations peacock spiders rely on for food. Chemical pollution can disrupt the tiny sensory vibrations they use to communicate. Even artificial light changes predator behavior around them, and climate change may be even worse. Longer droughts dry out the microhabitats they depend on. Extreme heat can overheat eggs before they hatch. Bushfires destroy entire patches of vegetation where generations once lived. And because many peacock spider species exist only in very small regions of Australia, habitat destruction can erase entire species before humans even discover them. That's the terrifying part. There are peacock spider species scientists likely haven't documented yet. Imagine going extinct before humanity even learns your name. And honestly, that's already happening to countless small creatures around the world, not because they're useless, but because humans often ignore anything tiny. But nature doesn't see them as tiny. Nature sees them as essential. Peacock spiders are indicators of environmental health. If they disappear, it usually means the insects, plants, and micro-ecosystems around them are collapsing too. Protecting them means protecting entire habitats, native grasses, small forests, healthy insect populations, clean soil, stable climates, and preserving biodiversity matters more than people realize. Because ecosystems are like giant chains. Remove enough small creatures, and eventually the whole system weakens. That includes the systems humans rely on too. Food production, pollination, natural pest control, healthy forests, healthy oceans, healthy air. The survival of tiny species affects massive systems in ways we're only beginning to understand. And maybe that's why peacock spiders matter so much. They challenge this idea that beauty only belongs to large animals, not lions, not whales, not eagles. A spider, a creature most people fear automatically, contains colors, intelligence, movement, and behavior so advanced that it looks almost alien. And despite everything working against them, they keep dancing, even in dangerous environments, even surrounded by predators, even when the odds say they probably won't survive. That tiny spider still climbs onto a leaf, raises its legs, and performs like its entire world depends on it, because it does. So the next time you see a small spider outside, don't kill it automatically. Look closer. That tiny creature might be controlling pests, feeding birds, supporting an ecosystem, or performing behaviors scientists still don't fully understand. And somewhere in Australia right now, a peacock spider is probably dancing for its life, completely unaware that humans may decide whether its species survives the next century. And honestly, for something so small, that responsibility feels enormous.